and welcome to Powerful Positive Prayer, a series on giving that oomph, that extra power to your prayer. This method can be used by anyone of any faith. I'm Reverend Sherry, and again, I welcome you. So this is not a formulaic prayer, not something that you read as a rote prayer. It's a method that was taught by Dr. Ernest Holmes, founder of Science of Mind and Spirit, and it's now used around the world. We call it positive prayer or affirmative prayer because unlike in our grandma's prayers or maybe the prayers we learned growing up as children, we are not petitioning or asking God for things. We're acknowledging, we're visualizing that we already have the desire of our hearts. That may be a little different for some, but you're probably aware of athletes who have used visualization for eons. You know, they visualize crossing the finish line even before they ever leave the starting blocks. In the same way, spiritually, in this affirmative prayer, we visualize having the thing that we desire. Now, it can be a physical thing like a new job or a new home, or it could be something invisible like more happiness. Whatever thing it is, just get clear of that desire in your heart. So Dr. Holmes, it mentions several stages for prayer. And the first one is called recognition. That's just what it sounds like. But what do we recognize? Well, it's recognizing God. Now, I use the term God, but you may use any term you like for that higher power, that divinity that you recognize. You might use the term Allah or Buddha, the universe, the light, the great love, the one unifying force. Whatever phrase you use, just have it come from your heart. You're communicating with God or Spirit. God knows our hearts and our souls in our prayers even before we maybe know what they are. So you can't get this wrong. Don't worry about the name you use. And you can play around with different names as you get more comfortable with prayer and praying. Besides recognizing God in the beginning of our prayer, we say something about that one that is all. So for example, you might want to say, I know that the one Spirit is the creator of all things and is eternal. Or you might say something like, I recognize that there is one life, the life of the Creator that is in and through all things. Or you might say, I know God is everywhere. There is no spot where God is not, for that's just how great God is. You see, it doesn't matter how you say it. Just feel it. So there's more steps that we'll be talking about in future weeks. But this recognition step right now is just anchoring us in what God is and feeling the truth in our hearts. Now, before we close with prayer, I'll just mention, please subscribe to this channel, Universal Spirit Center, so you don't miss an episode. And there's lots of other great content as well. And if you have questions about prayer, you feel free to email me at revsherry@universalspiritcenter.org. Rev, R-E-V, Sherry, S-H-E-R-R-I. And I'll be glad to answer your questions. So we're about to pray. And I invite you to relax into this moment. I'm going to use personal pronouns, I and me, but that's so that all of us can join in this prayer and feel it in our hearts. Feel it personalized. And at the end of the prayer, I invite you to just sit still and feel the peace for a few moments before you run off and check your email or cook dinner or whatever. So let's take a few deep breaths for centering. To breathe in deeply and out. Let's do another breath. Breathing in and out. Now I invite you to close your eyes when we begin our prayer. I know there is one life, one power in all the universe that is God or Spirit. It's eternal, meaning it has always existed and always will, and it's also present in the eternal now. And I know this thing I call God is an infinite love that embraces all of its creation, including me and including you. I know that its creative force is ever acting through the universe, through creation. But I also know that the Spirit is close. It is in my heart and in my soul. It is a part of me and acts in and through me. And so daily I know this perfect Spirit is within me. It helps me think positive thoughts, good thoughts that enable my life to be the fullest that it can be. And I know the love and perfection of Spirit pours in through me and then flows out from me to others that I love, to my friends, to my family, even to my community and my nation and the world. For God is only good. And so I'm grateful for all these blessings of the divine, the good, the life that it gives me, the life that flows from me, and most of all, for the love. So now I can step aside, having spoken these words of prayer, and just knowing that Spirit works perfectly and has all these things come true. It is now done by me, and it is done by God. I release it and let it go. So I declare the truth of this by saying, and so it is, Amen, Amen, and yes.